knowledge is never too much to have. I think if we want to be the best in a particular area, we must always be learning and continuing to challenge ourselves. And you need to take risks to step out of your comfort zone and just try. The most part of the mistakes will make you a better person and will make you knowing better yourself.
Season 11 of CX in the Wild is live from across the world. From the buzzing streets of Tokyo to the creative pulse of Sao Paulo, we're on the ground, uncovering CX in its rawest form. This season, we're venturing into uncharted territory, exploring the edges of what's possible. So, let's begin.
Welcome back to CX in the Wild. Today, I am interviewing Diogo Miranda, a gentleman who I came across in Lisbon, Portugal. And I thought Diogo had an interesting take on sharing his life experiences. Many times we have people on the show that are a little older, but this is for the young professionals out there. Diogo, it's a pleasure to have you here today. Why don't we start by telling us who you are and what you do?
Thanks for the invitation, Dennis. It's really a pleasure to me to be here with you. So I'm Diogo Miranda. I'm 23 years old. Right now I work at Altice Portugal, which is the largest telco company in Portugal. My role, basically, I'm a member of staff to the CEO in the strategy and innovation team. And yeah, I think that's a really...
That's such a great role. And I'm certain every young person out there would love to find themselves in a role like yours. I myself, I have a 23-year-old son who just entered his first job out of college in New York City. And I have a daughter who's just about to graduate in a couple of years from college. So this is sort of a great topic for me. And before we go on, I just always like to thank my guests who speak to me in English, because I'm certain if it was Portuguese, it would be easier. I'm impressed by everyone who's multilingual, so thank you for speaking in English. Let's just start out with, what you must have been very active in university. What were some of the university experiences that helped you with your mindset?
So I can talk a bit about my pet. So speaking a little bit about the beginning, I start my bachelor's degree in management in 2020 at ISEC during the pandemic. So as you can imagine, it was a terrible time to be a university student. But I have always been a very proactive person, I think. I always wanted to learn about new topics, meet new people, and understand which extracurricular activities could add value to me. For example, in my first year, I was 18 years old, and I was a student ambassador of a real estate startup, where I was able to explore my sales skills a little bit in the real estate world. But my first serious, I think, more professional experience, more serious, was when in my second year, I joined the marketing department of ISEC Junior Business Consulting, which is a junior enterprise who's focused on more strategic consulting. That's when I really started to evolve and combine my studies with this experience, and start to building a little bit more skills.
I love that you said being proactive. And being proactive with curiosity is something that I try to teach my children, in that if you know you want to do this thing, there are some experimental steps that you can take so that by the time you arrive at your destination, you're smarter, more capable. And some of these internships or these jobs that you did, it really feels like what you're doing is you're learning and you're practicing at the same time as you prepare for the next step. Is that accurate?
I think yes, of course. But I think the main point, principally for the student people, is that we don't know what we want to do. So I see, and I'm a example of that. We have a lot of options, but we don't know what to do really. So I think most people, it's not fail, but stuck on that part. You see?
And so, how do you get unstuck? Yeah.
Okay. I think you take the risk. You need to take risks, to step out of your comfort zone and just try. And I think that was my a part of my journey. A lot of risks, a lot of mistakes, and you need to be consciously that like the most part of the mistakes will make you a better person, and will make you knowing better yourself. I think that's the
Was there a time before you were a risk taker? Did you used to be nervous about taking risks?
yeah.
How did you
Of course.
overcome that fear?
Okay. So I think I'll begins when I was like 8, 10 years old. Now I can look back and see that, because I was a very overweight person, and I need to at that time to overcome through that and some bullying, and at that time I was a very nervous person, and how I say, with a low esteem, auto-esteem, and that kind of stuff, and I can see in that time, maybe I didn't know, but I took a lot of risks to overcome through that moments, and nowadays it's more easy, but you need to start at some point, I think.
So many young people, that you're exactly right. They get stuck at not taking the risk. They see failure as a problem. Now, they don't necessarily understand it as learning or part of the process. Taking the risk or not being good at something is the first step to getting good at it. So you've taken a lot of big steps. You're at a prestigious corporation now. What were some of the challenges that you faced as you moved from student leadership into the job market?
So, good question. I think no matter how much experience you have already, the transition to the job market is always a little scary. It's a completely different reality, a different world. I mean, probably you felt the same some years ago when it was your time, especially in a company as big as Altice. And for me, the main challenge was joining a very rigorous team, which is the staff for the CEO. With older and very experienced people, and feeling that in a way I was quite behind compared to them, which is normal. But at the time, it was a very big shock to me, to my ego. But it was very good to me at the time. But yes, I would say that the thing that shocked me the most was working with people who are old enough to be my parents. But of course, I'm very grateful because I learned a lot with them.
Wow. Yeah, Diogo, I'm definitely old enough to be one of your parents. Yeah. Let's talk about a lot of people feel overwhelmed when they start their first job, especially in a demanding role. How did you navigate those challenges?
Okay, so on this topic, I really have to thank to Altice, my company, because the entire onboarding and integration process was very well prepared. So I spent my initial phase in several areas, gradually knowing and understanding all the process, and they made me feel very comfortable to asking questions, the questions I had. Of course, all this integration was very challenging. It's a new world, as I said, especially because the position was quite demanding. But I feel that on this topic, I was very lucky. And I received a lot of the help in the beginning, a lot of help.
That's right. I think if you find yourself in your first role, most people understand that it's your first role. And if you are open to learning and to help, most people, I think, are willing to help you on your journey. But on your journey, you've done a lot of work in university, and not just your undergrad, but you have your. Are you working on your master's now, or have you completed that?
No. Basically, I took well, I graduated from my bachelor's. Then last year, I took a executive program in strategic management and innovation, and now I'm starting my master's in data-driven marketing, focus on more digital marketing in 10 days, so in September. So it's almost there.
Well,
Yeah,
that's quite ambitious and proactive.
yeah.
Why do you think higher education is so important? You already have a great job. Why do you continue to go to school?
Uh, no, it's interesting, but one lesson that I learned from experienced managers was that knowledge is never too much to have. I think if we want to be the best in a particular area, we must always be learning and continuing to challenge ourselves. I'm sure you feel the same way in the customer experience field, Dennis. So it's basically with this goal in my mind that I decide to took that programs, and I will take my masters. Although my masters is in digital marketing, so it's not and it's not at all at my area of focus at work, which is more strategy and innovation, but it's something that I have always been interested in. So let's do it. Keep learning.
That's fantastic. I think it probably speaks to your discipline as well. What advice would you give students about building confidence, experience, and skills before they enter the job market?
I think you will never be 100% prepared. That goes to entering the job market or other type of challenge. But I think you can do your home job, which is like as I said, step out of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to take risks. Obviously, it's a lot of easy to talk and not act. But I look to this point more in a way like if I was like imagine 80 years right now, and I didn't have done that and have done sorry I didn't have done the things that I wanted. Uh, how would I feel about that? And then I choose to take a risk. So basically, that's my advice. I hope it makes sense.
Yes, it does. It's about learning. I think that there's an element of humility that comes into play when we start out on anything new. We want to be great at it, but mostly we have to confront the fact that we want to be great at it, but it's going to take a long time to get there. And I know you do some nonprofit work. You help out in the community there. Can you talk a little bit about the balance of work, learning, giving back to the community?
Yeah, sure. Just to introduce a little bit, um, I'm a volunteer at Fundação do Gil, or Gil Foundation, which is a non-profit organization that helps children with financial or health problems. And this organization, in the last 25 years, helped more than 50,000 children. So I'm a project manager and a big initiative there. And for me, it's very rewarding to be part of a social project and help people in need. I think that at the end of the day, maybe I don't know if you agree with me, but for me, what we truly take from life is the positive impact we manage to create in other people. And it's not easy to balance this project with my social life, with my masters and my work. But I feel like with the organization and the clear definition of priorities, anything is possible. Again, it's not easy. It often becomes very stressful for me, but at the end of the day, I think I feel very happy with the pet I've built and I'm building for myself.
It really is good to help other people. I also come from that belief system. There
Okay.
are givers and there are takers. And
Okay.
I think givers like to work with other givers, just to put it bluntly. So now looking ahead at your career, what's next for you? Where do you go from here?
So next steps, right? It's a tough question, I would say. Like, as I said, I'm still in a early stage in my career where I'm trying to figure out what I truly enjoy doing, you see. And this field of strategy and innovation is quite diverse, which of course has pros and cons. Looking ahead to my future, I definitely want to continue working in strategy and innovation roles. I also to explore new fields such as the football industry, which I love, for example. I wanted to create a real and meaningful impact on social projects, help people and discover and experience new cultures of work. But to sum up, and I'm sorry my answering is becoming very long, but to sum up, my plans for the future are to keep growing on a personal level, to continue learning, to bring value to my colleagues and organization, to meet more inspiring people like you, Dennis, for example, expand my network, but most importantly, I want to remain a hardworking and ambitious young man who makes the most of the opportunities that life brings to me, basically.
Awesome. That's so good. Well, Diogo's story certainly proves that you don't need a lot of experience to start making an impact. You just need to get involved, take on challenges, and you've just got to be willing to put yourself out there. Diogo, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. It's been great to have you on CX in the Wild, and I just know you're going to go on to do amazing things.
Thank you so much, Dennis, for the invitation.
CX is shaped where people live, work, and connect. Thank you for being a part of this journey. There's more to discover, more to challenge, and more to create. So stay curious, and we'll see you out there.